Welcome back to Refle's anime reviews and discussions. I am Refle, and last time I talked about one of the newer shows from spring 2015, and is it wrong to try and pick up girls in a dungeon? I think it's the title. I can never get the title right. I'm pretty sure I butchered it like multiple times in the last video. But we're going to be moving on to an older show. Actually, I want to see when this originally aired. Between October of 2008 and March of 2009. So 6 years old. And it's a show that I didn't watch until I think it was last summer, not I think summer 2014. And it's Toradora. So, what got me to watch this show is I was just looking online for what people consider to be like one of the best like drama / romantic comedy shows, because I was interested to see like which ones people considered the best. Since I really didn't have an idea, and I just kind of went around like forums and stuff, and I noticed that a lot of people mentioned this show, as well as a few other ones. So I decided to check it out, and I guess I won't spoil yet what my thoughts are, but Toradora is a drama, romantic comedy, and it's about, it focuses on two characters, pretty much for the most part, Ryuji Takasu, who is the male protagonist, and I would consider him the main character for the most part, and Taiga Asaka, and that's Taiga, not Tiger, Taiga, but she does get called Tiger. Her nickname is Palm Top Tiger, for multiple reasons. So they are, the main characters, and Ryuji is a neat freak. I think he has like OCD for cleaning or something. Like everything has to be just completely clean. And he's kind of living on. I wouldn't consider him poor, but he just have a bunch of money because he doesn't have a dad. And he lives with his mom, who is a very I like the mom in this show because it's just like she's like a 20-something-year-old mom or I guess maybe she's probably older than that, but she acts like she's the same age as Ryuji, and for the most part Ryuji acts like the adult, but there's parts where those roles switch. But yeah, everybody considers him to be like a delinquent because of his eyes. He's got like evil looking, or like not evil looking eyes, but menacing looking eyes, which after the first few episodes that doesn't really get mentioned much. But one day I guess I won't spoil this, but I won't spoil how he befriends Taiga. But he and Tiger decide to help each other try to win the hearts of the people they have a crush on. So Taiga has a crush on Ryuji's best friend, Kitamaru, I can't remember his first name or whatever, and Ryuji has a crush on Tiger's best friend, Minori, or Minoren. So they both help each other out, but I guess for the first half of the show, because it's only 24 episodes, it really focuses on Ryuji helping out Tiger. And it's just funny because these two just don't know how to like react to the people they like, and they just can't handle being with the like, especially Tiger at the beginning. She like freaks out whenever she's nearby Kitamaru, and yeah, so it just kind of eventually turns into that Ryuji, I forgot his name for some reason, Ryuji and Tiger just start becoming more and more, close and better or closer friends. And I think the first episode 3 or 4, people mistake them as like a couple, and they immediately try to just stop the rumors there. But there's tons of characters who jump in. There's a 5 characters that are kind of like the core group of the show, and I've already mentioned 4 of them. Another one is Amy. I don't think that's how you say it, but I'm gonna just say Amy because it's easier. Who I think if the first 4 or 5 episodes, I would say, are pretty slow, and I wouldn't consider them great episodes. They're good in their own way, but they're not all that fantastic. But I think this show really starts to hit off when Amy comes into play, and it's not because of, I guess in some ways it's because of Amy, but actually it's pretty big part. Maybe she might be a bigger character than I'm thinking, because she helps initiate a lot of the stuff that goes on, even though it's her intention, but I guess the results might be unintentional. Yeah, but once she kind of gets involved, there's a period between episodes 6 through 18, 19, where the show's just once you start watching episode 6 or something, you're gonna probably marathon through all of those episodes, because it's just, you want to keep watching more and more for that segment of the show. Because every episode is just, I think, really well done and really good, and you want to keep watching. So yeah, it hits its stride in the middle of the show. And I really wish that I could talk more about the stories of these shows, but like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's so hard to describe why the show's good sometimes, because there's parts where I want to talk about that would maybe push some people towards watching it, but then I would ruin a surprise or something. Yeah, so I'll just say that if it's focused on Ryuji and Tiger for a reason, and I'm sure you'll figure out that you'll figure out something between the two at pretty early on. There's tons of little foreshadowing throughout the show. yeah, I wish I could talk about stuff that goes on, but I don't want to spoil anything. Now the show it's funny. There's some good, funny parts. I mean, I just got done. I rewatched the show. I think last week. I think I watched the whole show last week in like 2 or 3 days. Just because I just felt like rewatching it. Yeah, so it's still, it's a funny show. Minoran is probably, the funniest because of the way she acts. There's tons of, good moments. My biggest gripe of the show, I would say, is how it ends. And I guess if you want to hear my thoughts on if you want to hear some spoilered thoughts on a show, then stay tuned after I give it a score and wrap up. But yeah, I would say the last few episodes, I guess, the last the last few episodes are really good, but it's just something that I guess it's just my personal opinion, and I'm sure that's why my opinion on the show is different than a lot of other people. But just if you want to hear a spoiler for the ending, basically, then stay tuned. If you don't, then just stop whenever I end it. But it's a really good show. It is one of the better kind of drama, romantic comedies. If I had to give it a score, man, like I feel like I'm underappreciating the show, but I give it an 8.75 out of 10, which is not a bad score at all. I mean, I've given a lot of shows I think I'd score, like No Game No Life. I think it's on par, at least for me, as far as me liking it. That score is, I think, for a lot of people, really low, because people have considered it as one of the best, if not the best. So you expect, a higher score, but I'm a little bit down more on the show for reasons I'll talk about in the spoiled section after this. And you know what? It might not be a viable reason, but it's my opinion. But the show is really good. I definitely recommend it. And like the characters are all good. There's some good moments. Yeah. That should wrap it up. So Toradora, definitely watch it. It's worth watching, and your opinion will probably be different than mine. But if you want to hear just kind of a spoiler for the ending and the reason why I have a gripe against the ending, then just stay tuned, and I'll tell you why. Okay, so if you're listening to this, I am going to spoil stuff for the ending. So if you don't want it spoiled, then get the hell out of here, okay? Just click out of the video, watch another video, go watch the show, whatever. Just get out. So, for those of you who stayed, the way the show ends is Taiga and Ryuji become a couple and everything, because blah 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 blah. And that's my gripe of the show. Is Tiger and Ryuji are the ones that are together. I know this is what happens with these kind of shows where there's multiple love interests and stuff like that. But I can understand why they went this route, because it's the way things usually go in these kind of shows, where the one who you most expect to be the love interest is the love interest at the end, or the one that wins. But in my opinion, I feel like Minoran should have been the one, because she's the one who really, she gave up her chance with Ryuji to help Taiga, because she has the same feelings about Ryuji as Ryuji does for her, but she felt like Minoran felt that Tiger needed Ryuji more than she needed Ryuji, so she basically gave him to Taiga, which just shows that I think just Minoran deserved Ryuji instead. Like I think Tiger. I keep saying Tiger. I don't mean to do that, but it's kind of hard. Taiga and Ryuji, I feel like a relationship shouldn't have become romantic. I felt like they should just stayed really good friends. That relationship seemed to fit better with them, because I never felt. I mean, there's multiple points in the show where it felt like they had interest in each other, but not that much romantically. Like, it just felt like they were really good friends. So I felt like it was forced that they would become romantically involved and stuff. While I feel like Minoran and Ryuji would have been a much better romantic couple, because they're really not like close friends throughout the whole show. Like, they're friends, but like just because of Taiga. And I mean, they know each other, they talk to each other a lot and stuff like that, but yeah, I just don't feel like Ryuji and Tiger shouldn't have that kind of relationship. I feel like Minoran should have been the one. I also liked Amy as well, but rewatching it, actually, I think the first time through the show, I preferred Amy out of everybody. But after watching it again, I now prefer Minoran. But what can you do? You can't change stuff. But in my opinion, that's why I kind of downgrade the show, because I don't agree with the person who... I don't agree with Tiger being the one. I like Tiger and stuff like that. Like, I think it's fine, but I just don't feel like it was the best ending. And that's just an opinion. I'm sure other people completely disagree. But yeah, that's my gripe. And that's why I'm kind of lower on the show than most people. It's still really good. But if you have watched the show and you have another opinion, or do you agree with me, let me know in the comments. But anyway, I'll wrap it up. So kind of a extra long episode just because I went on this tangent. But thanks for watching. Next time, I'm really just holding out until like 2 weeks, or 2 weeks from now, when all these summer shows wrap up, and I'll have tons of shows to review. I don't really have anything that I want to review right now that came out in the spring. Yeah, so I might just go to one of my personal favorites, or I might just find something else. We'll have to see. But I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.